honestly, it's been hard to find good news anywhere, but even in the middle of a lot of chaos, you know that there's some people and there's little pockets of people who are finding some goodness of something that's happened to them or something that they've witnessed. And so I just want to say that everybody deserves a cheers, right? Like we're coming towards the end of 2021. And, I think at this point, if there's anything we've learned is that we can't predict what any year is going to give us or what it's going to do. And so I think that the learning that lesson this year has been easy for some, but really difficult and challenging for others. And I just wanted to say that I think this week the cheers really goes to us because we're here, even though we might be in the middle of the struggle right now, like and being like, well, I still can't. I need to gather my life. But the thought and the fact that you understand and even know that that's the case is a slither of hope that one day you're going to get the strength to act on what you know. And so, I think it's important that we give ourselves a pat on the back for just having self-awareness and having enough strength to at least know that how we feel and our well-being is important. And however long it takes us to get that behavior in effect, just as long as you're working towards it, that is enough and you deserve that. So I wanted to check in with you guys. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what's a win or something good that you can share, whether it's been recently or even in this past year?
I'll go first. I think, Julissa more than anything knows that the holiday season really turned up for us, like on both ends in our individual lives, like shit just like turned up. And I've just really kind of been able to stay grounded and like sane in just trying to keep myself like literally just like before I wake up, and I posted it even today, like in my caption, like grateful for another day, grateful for another chance. Like, and it's kind of like what you said, like being conscious of like making better choices and trying to just like make better choices for yourself and know that like even though shit might be shit right now, at some point it's not going to be shit anymore. And just looking towards that and making the decisions and choices for yourself that can get you closer to that brighter place and lighter place sooner, And because I had a moment on Christmas. Christmas was rough, right? I'm used to having like my family celebrate or whatever, and Christmas has always been a holiday that has been kind of up in the air because like not one family member has like hosted it, but like this year was like you're by yourself, like shit has gotten to the point where like you're by yourself, and I had a moment where like it hit me and like I allowed myself to sit in that feeling and cry and like feel the sadness, but then just as quickly I was just like, all right, yes, I can let that feeling stay with me, but I don't want to wallow in that. So while I might be sad and while those feelings are valid, let me like pick myself up and at least try to keep myself moving and motivated in knowing that at some point things aren't gonna be so shitty. You know what I mean? So I think I'm just really just trying to keep myself in that mindset and like even doing things like, cleaning out my room and like shedding like shit that you hold on to and shit like that, like making sure that I'm getting ready for the new year to like keep on making choices to just better myself and keeping that conscious. So
shit.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience when it comes to the Christmas. My mom went to Jersey to stay with my sister and my niece. She's been there for like 2 weeks. And one of them got sick in the house, so then I wasn't even gonna end up going over there. But not that I got an invite anyways, but that part. It's just like those moments that you're like, all right, I'm just gonna. The 24th is what was like sad. The 25th I was fine because that's like the American holiday. We usually
that's hangover recovery and shit like that. Like
yeah. But I was able to go to my friend's house and it was so good. Like. We had such a good time, very mellow, but there's still that thought like in the back of your mind, like, I didn't have like a big family moment. And that gets you a little sad, but that's all part of life. I think this year has been really good in a lot of cases because no matter what, I was just like, I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep going. A lot of that alone time made me more creative. Mm-hmm. It made me, depend on myself more. and be able to work with individuals that match my energy or have the same type of vision. I was able to shed a lot of things and people that weren't for me also, it's like that purge. I went through different things in different months. It's like a roller coaster, but you just always get stronger and wiser, and you don't even let it hurt you for too long. You let yourself feel, and then you kind of just keep going because we're too bright. We too bright. We gotta shed our light, But we have to experience these things because we gotta teach everybody. This is shit we go through as humans,
Yeah. And I think even the other day, not to cut you off, Rose, I think the other day, like, I even had a moment where, like, I was thinking of, like, all the things that maybe could be better in my life or maybe didn't necessarily go right or whatever. But then I also thought about, like, all the things that, like, there have been a lot of things that at the top of the year I said, I want to do this, and they literally, like, came true. And so I had to, like, really kind of refocus myself on the positive things that have happened this year, and like really kind of celebrate those wins and say, like, whatever didn't happen and whatever you didn't get to do this year, there's always another chance to do it.
There's always another chance, and we grow like this. Like, we start small and then it gets bigger, and then all of a sudden you're like grabbing all this information to make your stuff better. Maybe what you're supposed to go through, you haven't learned what you need to make it grand, And that's what I have pleasure in falling on, because I get sad too. I get sad. I get you start having trust issues even with yourself. Like, you start doubting yourself and your abilities and your power, and you forget like what a fucking magical beings we are, and how we can manifest anything we want. It might not be in the form that you think that you want, but you gotta want something to see if it works out or not. Like, if you have a dream, go for it. Don't be stagnant. Like, don't sit and wait for that dream to fall on your lap. You gotta put in the work.
Absolutely. And like, and I think what I would add to that is that, and I'll say is the thing that I think was a positive thing to happen for me this year, was that I continued to learn that our growth is going to evolve in the way that it looks. And like, there are beginning levels for everything, which is to say, if I have the awareness of like all the things I could possibly do in my life to make myself like, the most self-loving, efficient, healthy human walking the planet, right? Like, I can know all those things and still have a really hard time saying, okay, no, I can't be vegan. Okay, yeah, I know I didn't pray or meditate today, even though I promised myself I was going to do it every day for my own sanity because it works. I don't, get massages regularly or even use the fucking massage machine that I bought to be what I mean? Sometimes we have so many things that are around us and we're prepared and we have all the information, and it's not a matter of having lack of access. It's a matter of having lack of enthusiasm.
Yeah, and creating healthy new habits.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And that habit forming and habit building can be a long, difficult process. And that we have to remember that long, might mean a year or two of your life before you can. But in that process, if what you're allowing yourself to be is productive in observing the truth that comes up as you're doing that work, then that's the best thing you can do. Like, for myself, I've had so many moments where I'm like, yeah, I get this thing in life and I've had this big revelation and I'm like, okay, this is the kind of human I want to be. And if I'm talking to somebody else, I can preach for hours to them about how they can get up and rise again and like do all this shit, right? But when it comes to me and when I get very close to something that is the brink of something big and powerful, I punk out on myself and I start to see behaviors that come out of me that are fear-based. And so I think I was living in a more dangerous place when I wasn't aware that I can go there. I can now go to those places and maybe still struggle to get out of them, but at least I know where I'm at. And at least I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that even if it takes me 5 weeks, the day I do decide to pray or meditate, the day I do decide to make that fucking smoothie or to not smoke as
the day you decide to fucking cry it the fuck out.
Right.
Come
like
on.
that matters.
Yeah, like feel and fucking
100%.
Funny, besides like writing in my journal, I'll literally do small little things where I'm trying to reprogram my brain to what it should be focusing on. And I remember I would program it to live a healthy lifestyle, or to balance my chakras, or to learn how to be a millionaire, like shit like that, like attract, these downloads while I'm sleeping to help reprogram my mind. Trust me, because we try it all. Sometimes we try to do the list.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're gonna be so productive, you'll end up in bed all day. You know how many times I've done that? My mom makes fun of me. She's like, "Look at come cara." Because when I'm like on my low,
Yeah.
I don't even want to interact with too many people, even though it's just her and I in the house and our cat Mirage.
Right. Ooh, Mirage. I like that.
She I still don't feel open like that. Plus living with your mom, because basically that's what it is. I'm taking care of my mom. She's 80. I'm gonna be her official home attendant while I'm trying to pursue everything that I want to pursue. My son just moved out. It's like, all right, I got a fresh new reset with everything that I've learned, but shit could get tough. But I think at the end of the day, we're good. We're alive. Omarion is out there trying to get crazy, but we just got to take care of ourselves.
Okay, and that's a perfect segue straight into our Tuta Loca es, where we shout out motherfuckers who doing the most.